Welcome everybody to a look at a new Raro video release via Radiance Films, and it is 1981's Murder Obsession. So this is directed by Ricardo Frida, who we've already looked at before with the likes of the horrible Dr. Hitchcock, but he also directed Kaltiki, the Immortal Monster. This is a mix of giallo and horror, and depending on which version you watch, it's either clocking in at 91 minutes long or 97 minutes long. So it stars Stefano Patrici, who I've only seen in a minor role in Rome, Armed to the Teeth, but it also stars Martine Brochard, who was in the likes of Eyeball, Savage Free, No, the Case is Happily Resolved, and The Violent Professionals. So it's really nice to see her again in something else. So this is about Michael, who is a successful actor, but he has a scandal in his past. At a tender age, he knifed his father to death. He and his girlfriend, Deborah, go to his mother's for the weekend and are joined by the director and others from the recent film project, who are given a rather cool reception by the superstitious housekeeper called Oliver. Soon, rude things begin happening to some of the guests, and Michael fears a repeat of his nightmare past is in progress once again. So, although this effort relies on red herring so much that it could be mistaken for a buffet, this is still an overall engrossing effort despite that flaw and the fact that there is only one good kill. The cast though is also good, the score is well done, the pacing is on point, it is well shot. I like the really rather weird dream sequence that goes on, especially since it acts like a dream where elements really don't make sense going from one bit to the next. There's one scene where she's going towards a massive spider web with a comically sized spider on it, and then all of a sudden she's somewhere else and then she's getting crucified. So yeah, it's a really really weird dream sequence, but a really well done one regardless, and it is generally engrossing throughout. So yeah, it's not my favourite of the Raro video releases we've had by Radiance Films. We also had Gang War in Milan and The Night of the Devils. I certainly preferred both of those films, but this still gets a solid 3.5 out of 5. And yeah, I did still ultimately really enjoy watching it. It's just a shame that it relies on so many red herrings, and you know none of them really get um, uh, you know none of them really get given enough depth to really make you believe that it's going to be one of these red herrings that have popped up, quite frankly. And but for the most part, you are believing that it is going to be our lead actor that is going to be the killer. So yeah, which is a little bit of a shame, but still, I like the yellow disco that's got going on, which fits in with the whole Giallo genre, because that means yellow. Um, and yeah, we've got a really rather nice reversible sleeve as well. I don't know which of the artworks I prefer, to be honest. I like that one, but then I also like that because it shows off some of the characters, and yeah, you've got a murder that's going on in the knife, which is nicely done. And then you also get a booklet to go along with this. It's not a massive one by any means, as you can see, it's only a few pages, but you get the credits, and then you get the Giallo Gothica words by Mikhail J. Coven, and that's basically it, to be honest. So yeah, I initially watched this on Amazon Prime, as I was a little bit ambivalent about whether or not I'd enjoy this or not. But yeah, it's had a high definition digital transfer from the original camera negative, which is presented in two versions: the original uncut Italian edit and the original score, with the original score, and for the first time on digital formats, the shorter re-edited English version and electronic score. I've not watched the English version, I've only watched the Italian version. I typically go for the Italian version when it's Italian films, it just feels more right. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what the English one is like. I imagine the cuts are generally, in terms of violence, that usually is the case. But if it's not, and it's just basically, just you know, made it a little bit more better pace, then that might well be the better version. Um, we've also got uncompressed mono PCM audio commentary by Alexandra Helen Nicholas, interview with makeup effects artist Sergio Stivaletti, interview with the composer Claudio Simonetti. He did a lot of stuff with Dario Argento, I seem to remember. And yeah, the score is really rather good on this. Although, like I said, I only listened to the Italian score. Whether or not he did the Italian score or he did the electronic one, I don't know. Then we've got appreciation by filmmaker Gabriele Albanese. We've got a deleted scene, and then we've got the reversible artwork that you've seen. New and improved English subtitles, translation for Italian audio, and the English SDH for English audio. Then the limited edition booklet with new writing by Michael J. Coven, who was author of La Dolce Morte, Vernacular Cinema, and the Italian Giallo. And this is a limited edition of 3,000. So, yeah, it's overall a really, really nice release, to be honest. A solid film. The transfer looks marginally better than the version that I've seen on Amazon Prime. The colours look a little less washed out, but there are still elements to the film that are flaws. There's one scene where a guy is walking out of a door and there's a lamp right near the camera, and you can see that the picture is, like jumping or, going a bit weird. And I use that as a reference to whether or not it was going to look any different for this version, but it wasn't. That same flaw was still there. So they've done a little bit of work to it, but there is still evidently some flaws in the camera negative that they couldn't get rid of. So there is that, but still overall it does look good. It's a good film, and yeah, like I said, 3.5 out of 5. So not quite as good as the two prior RaroVideo releases, but still a really rather solid giallo in its own right. It's just a shame that the red herrings are a little bit too much and there isn't any more than one good kill. But that's just the way it is sometimes. Nonetheless, so if you've seen this one before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.